sometimes we have those days where we feel like everything is going to end and it's so hard to turn back from there. It feels like it, and we would wish never to have that thing, that bad thing that we had in our lives. Like we all have those kind of days in our pasts. Like we all have those days where we regret living. Like I wish I could erase that day from the calendar. I also have those kind of days in my life, and actually, those days helped me a lot to become who I am right now. I've learned this thing, and there's this thing that comes later, this thought, which is there's everything good behind the bad thing that you had in your life. So everything actually happens for a reason. And the thing in here is you have to understand the reason why you leave that thing, like why you have that bad thing in your life right now. What is the reason exactly? When I ask myself this question, I just remember one day, one like period of my life when I ask myself that, like, what did you really learn from your dad? The day that you actually regret living, what did you exactly learn? Like, what did it do to become who you are right now? And the day or the days that I remember is my high school years, and I've met so many people those days. I've met actually one person who is so important in my life, and like, guess who it is? It's not like none of my friends, it's none of my family members, it's me. It's like who I am right now. I met myself in high school. Like I met who I am in those years, and I actually built who I want to become. And I still try to do that. High school have always been for me like, a book that I open and I see those like rounds, and I see those like bad days or like those people that really affected me. But at the end of the book, I just read who I become. So there's like a different person the day that I entered to that school, and a different person that I graduated from that school and I got my report card. So it was two different people, and it actually shows me how much I have changed in that place. And actually all of those like bad days and all of those bad like moments that I had, actually not bad but hard moments that I had, they actually shaped who I am right now, and I'm really proud of it and I'm really happy about it. If at the end of the day I will have all of those things to become who I am right now, I would say like let me have them, it's okay. Because guys, whatever you do have right now in your life, it's always for you to become better than your old version. It's for you to become, much more happier than your old version. For example, the first day that I changed my high school, I went to a different school with a different mindset of people. It was so different than me and then my family's like mindset. So they were kind of like they had very fixed thoughts, and I feel like me and my family is not that way. So not only like the school's teachers, also the school students and the school's like parents are like that way too, in general. Anyway, so I entered to that school, and the first day that I entered to my class, nobody talked to me. Nobody even came next to me. Nobody asked my name. Nobody wanted to learn my name from the girls. Boys were like really kind and like that, but from the girls, nobody asked my name. We were already like very small people, not so many people were there, only like 10 people at one class, and we had like two classes as I remember. And literally like girls were like a group and boys were a group, and girls didn't come to even ask my name. They just looked at me and that is it. They didn't ask who I am, they didn't ask where I came from. So I actually had a period where I stayed alone, lonely at class, and it was nice for me because I used to love staying alone and like that. But at the same time, it was so hard for me to stay like 9 hours without talking with anyone. Like, it was 9 hours not talking with anyone. I used to not even talk with my teachers during those days. So it was not really easy. And when I look at back, yes, I had boring days. I had very hard days because, like, you are alone and at one class, and everybody is like, actually having ideas together. They're making like plans, like in projects. It was so hard. So it was just so hard, okay, to like stay alone. You just need at least like one or two people from class, so that you can actually learn about projects. You can actually hear about some like activities and like that. So by time I started reading book, and I started finishing a book each day, because we had like 7 breaks, and one break is lunchtime, which is I think 1 hour and 10 minutes, something like that. So it was so long break time and like that. So at the end of the day, when I look at those days, I have learned many stuff. For example, I've learned staying alone. I've actually met myself during that period, because I stayed so many time alone, and I just learned who I am. I learned what I like, I learned what I don't like. And those days were actually the days that I've also met with my anxiety, and I learned how to cope with my anxiety. So it was not easy for me to really, stay in the life, actually, like, stay alive with like my emotions and like that. And I remember myself like isolating more when I started getting more like alone at that school. I started isolating myself more from that school, like from teachers. I didn't want to talk with teachers because I had no friends. I didn't want to talk with anybody else because I had no one to talk in general. It was just like that way. But I don't regret those days at all. I don't regret those days at all. I understand why I haven't been friends with those friends, first of all. And I'm so happy because I met who I am, and I actually learned how to cope with anxiety in those days. And I actually, being able to read those nice storybooks those days, because since I didn't want to live in that day, I was so focused on the book that I was reading, which was just so fun. Now, like, reading book doesn't come that much fun because I don't try to isolate from my life or like from people. The other side is like, I also say actually God protected me from some stuff that I don't really want to mention exactly, but literally God protected me from like so many stuff. Thank God I was alone. Thank God, like, I had those days where like I felt like people didn't care about me at school, at least. Thank God I had all of those days. Like, I cannot even explain how those days actually shaped who I become, guys. Now I actually understand that everything happens for a reason when I look at my past. For example, the people that you meet. Literally, each person that you meet has a story in your life. One time, my literature teacher told me in one lecture that every person in your life that she enters, she brings a story with herself, and she maybe teaches you a lesson. Maybe she looks like she haven't done anything into your life, but trust me, she does. And then she just leaves. Everyone has a timing in your life, a period that she stays and she goes. This is what she told us at class, and it was really meaningful for me because I didn't really understand what she meant that time, but now I understand it. She told me that when I was in 10th grade, when I was in year 11, and that year I had a very close friend where like I wake up, I call her, she wakes up, and then we go to school with the same bus. Then we enter to school and we sit in the same desk. Like, we're always together. Then we go to home with the same bus, and then we call each other, we meet again. Literally, each of our day was like this. Each of day was like this. And it was so fun. And we no longer talk. And now, like, I cannot really like tell you how many stuff she seriously added to my life. Like, I've learned a lot of things from her, and I always say that. I always say this thing. Like, from my past relationships, I've always learned at least one lesson. And all of those lessons are not small lessons. They all, like, make me feel more stronger in my own life. And now I understand why we no longer talk. I understand what she like touched me in life. Actually, God, it's like God sent her to teach me something in my life so that I can be more powerful, or like I can be more strong about like stuff in my life. By the way, sometimes they don't need to teach you anything like a rule, or like a life lesson. Sometimes it's just feelings. Sometimes people just come to your life to teach you a feeling that you feel like that doesn't exist, but that actually exists. Life is like this way. And now I understand why she have entered to my life, why we had those memories. And when I look at stuff and my like past relationships in a spot where it's like this way, it's so much better, because I don't regret anything. Or like, I sometimes regret some stuff, but I accept them, because now I know it took something from me, but it also brought me something. So I accept it, which actually makes me feel so much better. I think this is also one of the things that literally makes me stop to overthink, because I started accepting some stuff by thinking from this perspective. Also, some people tell me that I think so much about things and I put so many meanings on them. Yes, I do. But if I don't, it will make me feel like that thing is a mistake, or that thing is something wrong that I made, and I will run away from it. That's why I started thinking about things from a side where it is like a life lesson, or like something that it touched me, or a good memory that actually adds something to my life. If you really think from the things that you had in your life, it will make you feel so much better. You will have a different perspective where you just add something good to yourself. You know that a breakup, or like, a life change doesn't take like something from you only. It also brings something good to you, maybe making you strong. When I was so alone on those high school days, I remember myself watching a lot of podcasts, or like, mentor videos. And I remember someone talking about, if you say, or if you believe that you cannot live without something, it can be money, it can be a person, it can be a feeling, or like, you say you cannot live without being loved or something like that. Trust me, life will teach you to live without it, because you don't need anything to live with. You seriously don't need that. And if you keep saying that you cannot live without something, but seriously meant it, life will teach you that. So actually, everything that you have in your life, you have it because you need to upload yourself. You need to get better than your old version. Also, there's something like a theory that I also heard from a place which says, if someone dies, that means the lessons that he needs to take is done. He took all the lessons that he needs to take, and it's upon him to learn them, or like it's upon him to live like it, have them in his life. It's like that way. So actually, God puts in front of us so many nice stuff, and it's about us if we see it or not. It's just about us. It's about no one else. If you cannot see something good in front of you, then it's your problem. It's already delivered to you. It's already in front of you. For example, when I started thinking about this kind of stuff, like it's my job to see it, I started recognizing much more nice stuff in my life. For example, yesterday I was feeling very tired and kind of sad because of some stuff that happened on the day, and I went to a walking place which was all nature and it had a lake next to it. And literally, guys, like normally cats, they don't really come next to people because they're scared, or like they just don't want, to go next to them unless you have food. And I had anything in my hand, and literally, like I saw that day 4 cats coming next to me without me calling them, and I was so shocked. And I have videos of them, like, and I was so shocked. And like one of them kept following me, and it came with me to a bench, and we sat together for like hours. It was so cute. I got so shocked, and literally that cat saved my day. And I felt like, everything is, temporary. Everything will like finish one day. Sometimes I cannot believe, like, a little thing can like save my day. Like a little thing. It's like an animal. They can't talk, like, do you understand? But they have they're like superheroes. They can show their love so good, which is, they cannot speak, but they can show their love so good. Even though we're able to speak, we cannot even show that love to nature, to people, to stuff that we have. We cannot do that, even like to God. Do you understand? That's like so sad. Know that everything happens for a reason, and actually those stuff that we have, it shapes who we want to become. It shapes who we are right now. So at the end of the day, they all are for something good. But the thing in here is, you have to always get the right message. You have to always question yourself, why, like, or like, what did I learn, and stuff like that, so that you can also shape yourself with those stuff that you had.